Hi there, this is Simon Middle from SMM Coaching and Consulting. We are your relationship coaches. Unfortunately, Martin could not join us today, but today we are going to talk about a really great topic and something that I think we can really start to incorporate really in any relationship. And it can be very, very helpful in trying to manage some of the challenges that we have sometimes in our relationships. And today we're going to talk about the four agreements. And some of you may have heard of the four agreements. It's a book that was written actually some time ago, and it actually has some great principles that I think can really make a difference. And I can tell you that for me, it has made a difference in a lot of different ways in really almost every relationship. And so we're going to go through those today and talk a little bit about them. If you're interested in the book, the author of the book is Miguel Ruiz, and the book is available on your favorite book app, whatever that looks like. And I would highly recommend it. And it really comes from the idea of how do we manage those kind of challenging situations where we can get really riled up, kind of get really emotionally reactive, and what are some principles that we can use that can really be helpful. It also talks about our own integrity and how do we incorporate that in a way that really makes sense to the people around us in our world. So let's talk about them. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. And when we say that, that really means that we want to speak with integrity. It means that we want to say what we mean, and we don't want to use words against ourselves or other people. And we know that there's a lot of power in the words we use and in how we actually interact with people. We want to use that power of the words we use in a direction that really leads toward truth and love. That means we care about people. That means we're kind. That means we're gentle. I can tell you in my own history, I've had trouble sometimes with this reactivity and getting angry and kind of lashing out. And as I've incorporated the idea of being impeccable with my word, what it really means is that I'm willing to ask for what I want. And it also means that I'm willing to be honest about what I'm going through. How many times have you maybe said some things to a significant partner, significant other, or somebody at work because you wanted to look good or you were afraid of what the reaction would be if you actually said the truth? Those kinds of things actually lead to less trust and less safety in a relationship. And so by being impeccable with our words, we can actually build that trust and build that safety. So next time when you're trying to share something, just take a pause. Be courageous, step into that place of courage, and just be honest. You know, here's something that you might have done that really didn't feel good. And I just want to be upfront about that. I don't want to judge you. I just want you to know that interaction didn't go well. Or even the opposite. You know, I really appreciate that you were willing to step in and help with some of the things that I was going through. And I am willing to do the same for you. So when we say things like that, being impeccable means, guess what? We're going to do that. We're going to actually follow through on what we're saying. The second agreement is don't take things personally. And this is really hard because we have this sense, usually on an unconscious level, that everybody around us knows what's going on with us. And the reality is that they don't know about us at the level that maybe makes sense for us. And frankly, we don't know about them. And this kind of goes to some of the things that we've talked about in some of our other videos around that circle of control. All I can control is what I think, what I say, and my belief system. That means when somebody says something that sounds critical or sounds kind of edgy or sounds like it might be even attacking, we need to, again, pause, recognize that there may be something else going on, that I don't necessarily know all of the situation, and I don't have to take that personally. I can step back from that and say, hey, I want to get some more information. I want to be curious about what's going on with you that led to that statement. So we don't want to put people on the defensive, but we also want to invite curiosity. It says, I'm just really interested in what's going on with you. Because what we want to do is we want to be immune to the opinions and actions of others, and so that we don't want to become a victim. We don't want to live in a victim mentality that says everybody's attacking me, everybody's after me, my boss is after me, my spouse is after me, my kids are after me, or whatever that might be, because we don't know what else they may be going through that may be contributing to their reactiveness or their emotional state. So first one is we want to pause. We want to make sure that we're saying things that are true for us and that we know are going to be things that we can follow through on. We want integrity in our speech. The second one is we want to try not to take things personally. And at times that can be difficult, but the more we practice it, the more we can say, that person is trying to do their best, and I don't know all the things that they might be going through. The third one is we don't want to make assumptions. And this kind of goes in partnership with not taking things personally by saying, I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to assume I know what's going on with other people, what they're thinking, what they're believing. And I'm going to step in again into that place of courage and ask questions and be curious about what might actually be going on with somebody else and the way they're interacting and reacting. And one of the things that Marna and I have done often is when one of us is sort of riled up or has an emotional reactive place, we're in that reactive place, we can pause and just say, hey, you know what? Here's the story in my head, and I want to know, I'm curious about what's really going on, so that we can actually get to a conversation that actually goes deeper. It creates trust, it creates safety, but it also creates an understanding of what else might be going on. Because again, we can't read people's minds. We don't know what's going on inside of them. When we stop and we have those kinds of conversations, I can tell you, I have learned so much about Maren and other people when I've been able to pause and really be more curious about what might be going on, rather than assuming I know what's going on. Now, part of that is we need to be able to let go of the stories that we've had growing up, the stories in other interactions that we bring into relationships that help, that predefine what we think might be going on. So we want to try and let go of those assumptions. So again, we want to be impeccable with that word. We want to try not to take things personally. And we want to try not to make assumptions. And that means we want to be curious. The last agreement is we want to always do our best. Now, I will say our best varies a lot from day to day. Sometimes we're really tired. Sometimes we're emotionally spent. Sometimes we've got lots of energy. But we need to be kind to ourselves by saying, I am going to do the best I can. And today, this is about my best. And that also allows us to give other people that space to be the best they can be, again, recognizing it varies to them as well. One of the situations that often happens or has happened in my work environment is I've had somebody who has always been really good at getting things done. And for some reason, for maybe a week or even 2 weeks, they're just not kind of performing at the same level. And it'd be easy to kind of get on their case about it, rather than just being curious and saying, you know what? I want to be the best I can, which means I want to be kind, I want to be gentle, I want to be curious, and I want to be in a type of relationship that is meaningful, which means that for me to be in my best, rather than criticizing that person, I can come into that space and say, hey, I noticed that, this last few weeks has been kind of a struggle. How are you doing? What can I do to help? What else is going on? And being curious and then being able to reflect and validate what the experience is of this other person. And then rather than being in judgment, which is really where you should or you could, those are judgment statements, to kind of move back from that and say, what can we do together to make sure this works out? And that means that we're going to do our best to avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. I have had a lot of regret in my life. There are things that I've done that I look back on that have been very difficult for a lot of people around me. So to be able to pause and say, I don't have to carry that. I don't have to always regret every action. I can say, hey, I am doing my best today. Now, part of that is also holding myself accountable, saying, you know what? I wonder if there's something else I could do better. That's about accountability. It's not being driven by external factors, by other people. It's really saying, I want to be better. And today wasn't maybe the best I know I can be, Maybe it's the best for today. And so tomorrow I might try something different. So when we put these 4 agreements together, we really come to a place of saying, I want to be a person of integrity. I want to be in relationship with people without judging, without trying to assume I know what's going on with them. And that I want to step into to do my best, recognizing that I'm trying to do my best and that other people are trying to do their best. This can be really challenging, especially in more intimate types of relationships. We have an expectation sometimes that is somewhat unrealistic, that other people should know what we want or know what to do or know what to say. And that's not always the case. A sort of quick example might be if Lauren gets her hair done and I don't notice it, she might say, hey, I got my hair done. What do you think? Rather than saying, you never talk about my hair. Yeah, I work hard to get my hair done. So that would be a way of really saying, she is being impeccable with her word by saying, I'm going to just ask. I'm not going to assume that Simon should know what to say. I'm not going to take it personally. And by me stepping into asking the question, I can be my best. So think about situations that you might be encountering where there's a lot of should, could, wants that aren't being met. A lot of that may be around some of these agreements. And so I would really encourage you to think about, how can I pause enough of my own reactivity, become more aware of where I'm at, be impeccable with my word, really making sure I'm not making assumptions, that I'm actually trying to do my best, and that I'm not taking things personally. Those 4 principles can really help a lot in every relationship that you have, whether it's with your significant other, whether it's with your children, with your boss, with coworkers, with friends. It can be really helpful, and it can actually build stronger and more meaningful relationship. I hope this has been helpful. I recommend that you read the book. Again, as many of our Boost relationship sessions are about bringing you practical ideas that you can implement right away. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in joining our wellness community, it's called Empowering Minds. On that platform, we have nutrition help. We've got wellness ideas for exercise, but also for emotional wellness. And so we're really excited to launch this, and we'd love you to be a part of that. I've got the link in on the text on the screen here. Please feel free to join us. If you're interested in learning more about SMM coaching and consulting, please go to our website at smmcoachingconsulting.com. And if you're looking for help with your teams or help individually, we are here to help you to grow and to become better in your relationships, to have the best life possible. Thanks again for joining us. If you have any questions, again, we love your comments, and we're really looking forward to our next session. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.